Hare Krishna, everybody, and thank you for allowing me to be part of this conference. Still, I hope this video works for everybody. So, the title of my presentation today is Medicine and Devotion, and I wanted to start off by saying that the definition of health, as defined by the WHO, the World Health Organization, is that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So, in recent years, spirituality has been understood and added on to this definition of health, which now is that health is a state of complete physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being, and not just the absence of disease. So, Srila Prabhupada, how he said that the main cause of illness in this world were due to three things, which are anxiety, uncleanliness, and a poor diet. These are the three things that Srila Prabhupada said caused illness in this world. And practically we can see that completely in line with the WHO definition as well. So currently I find myself in the position of being a doctor, living and working among in a spiritual community, and I see my role as seeing patients in my clinic, seeing patients at the temple, and seeing patients in their homes, providing medical care, including palliative care, as a general practitioner and also as a spiritual practitioner. We have the same emphasis, which is cradle to grave care, from birth to disease to old age to death. Both a GP and a devotee cares for an individual. So the most important thing that we face as devotees is this ultimate test of going back to Godhead, trying to in this lifetime, or at least trying our best to advance on this path of going back to Godhead. So it is very, very important for all of us as devotees to have a plan, to have a will, to have it written down, to go to your GPs and discuss with them where you want to die, how you want to die, whether you want resuscitation or not. And ultimately, it needs to be stated whether you do want any spiritual attendance at the time that you're dying. I mean, what if you're dying in hospital? What if you're dying in a nursing home? If it isn't stated clearly, then it might get missed. And ultimately, what do you want to happen to your body? All very sobering things, which all need to be considered. I mean, I know of situations where devotees have had non-devotee relatives and they've wanted the body to be buried next to other devotees, which is not very nice association after death. But I mean, that's a joke. But I mean, yes, so most devotees would want to be cremated and the ashes to be taken to the Yamuna or the Ganges or elsewhere. So it is important to think about this and to have this in writing. So The other thing I guess I should say is that actually I'll leave that for now. So I might run out of my time. So in this world, most disease is coming from mental or social spheres, not physical illness. In fact, 90% of illness in this world is due to mental or social issues, and only 10% physical illness. So it's very easy to treat physical illness by giving medication or other medical things, but obviously for social and psychological issues is much more difficult. So this is why, I mean, if somebody is wondering what am I doing in my office all day, it's not just giving out Panadol and antibiotics. It's actually trying to help souls with their physical, with their social and their emotional and their psychological issues, which is extremely difficult if they don't have a concept of God. And Srila Prabhupada, in his introduction to the Srimad Bhagavatam, he said that despite all material advancement, despite all technology, money, developed countries, etc., there is still a pinprick in society at large. And he said this pinprick is due to a lack of God consciousness. So we are seeing this practically, that 90% of the disease burden is coming in because of social, mental, psychological issues, because they are not connected or because they are just wandering. And many times in the scriptures it's been described that this human condition is diseased, and this disease is people are in ignorance and not realizing they have a personal relationship with the Lord. So in what I do, I try to help people meet their needs in practical ways. And in particular, I need to tell you that, you know, mental or psychological issues are of 1,000 times more painful than physical issues because it can't be seen, and help is available. So if help is available, you can go and see your GP, you can take the person to the nearest emergency department, even if it is not an emergency. You can call up many phone numbers which are free of charge, such as Lifeline, such as Beyond Blue, etc. So, and if you need more information, please don't hesitate to go in to see your doctor. So, many a time as devotees, we are told or we hear that all you really need to do is chant Hare Krishna. And this is true. Ultimately, this is true. However, we do need to keep it real. We need to understand that we are spiritual beings having a material experience. We are spiritual beings in a material body. And this material body, like a car, needs care, needs maintenance. We need to understand, as one of our previous acharyas has said, just as the two wheels of the train are going simultaneously, so in the same way, our physical needs, our material needs, and our spiritual needs need to be met simultaneously to have a balanced existence. So there is a well-known theory called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, well known in medicine, well known in psychology. And this theory states that to achieve the peak of our existence, which is self-realization, we actually need to meet the lower needs first. And these lower needs are need for food, shelter, accommodation, physiological needs. The second step is need for safety, security. The third is need for love and feeling belonged. The fourth is need for esteem, need to feel accomplished. And then the final is self-realization, that is a need to be able to achieve one's full potential. So to be able to actually come to the pinnacle of this human form of life, which is self-realization, all these below needs actually have to be met, and that is keeping it real. Many a time we force people to just chant Hare Krishna and be happy, and then what happens is that these real needs that come with the material body aren't met, and then they eventually come out in perverted ways, or the individual suffers disease. So I'm very happy that this conference is being held to develop strategies in our community to meet these needs. And finally, I will say that there is I'll say one more thing about the fact of this maybe a little immature mentality of just chanting Hare Krishna and not really addressing the material needs, is that in the Hare Krishna movement we have the best philosophy, the highest. So we have a very big head, and we also have the best prasadam, so we have a very big belly. But in the middle, what we are lacking is our heart. So having a heart means being compassionate, and means meeting the individual at the level at which they are at. And this is the best preaching. This is the best that is going to help them then advance to the level of self-realization. So I will finish off now by saying that in health promotion, there's a very well-known strategy called the Ottawa Charter. Please look it up. You are all now going to be managing different portfolios, like the widows, like the old men, like the children, like the Gurukulis. So this is a structure that has been used and been found to be extremely helpful over and over. And it has 5 basic principles. And with these 5 principles, any community project can be developed and sustained. And when you look it up, and also I'm happy to be used as a resource. I've used this strategy in the past for both spiritual and material projects and medical projects. So I'm happy to be used as a resource if you need. And these basically, the 5 principles are: building a healthy policy. Second, creating a supportive environment. Third, strengthening community action. Fourth, developing personal skills. And 5, reorienting services towards prevention. So thank you. I'll end here. Hare Krishna.